Welcome everybody, I'm Fabio Viviani and you're watching Fabio's Kitchen, where every week we'll bring you an amazing dish made by me. Today, we're going above and beyond. We're gonna teach you how to make gluten-free pasta. What? Say that again? Yes, gluten-free pasta. I have a lot of friends, a lot of family that unfortunately over the years have developed allergies to gluten and gluten products. So how are they gonna enjoy fresh pasta without gluten? Well, till I was born, that was impossible. Just kidding. There are products out there that they're okay. If you want an alternative, for gluten-free pasta, but the reality is that they don't taste that good. It's like chewing on cardboard and the texture is awful. So what better solution than a chef like me coming to rescue a foodie like you? First and foremost, we have different starches here. We have cornstarch, we have quinoa flour, which is a phenomenal ancient grain that features no gluten. We have potato starch. Potato starch is very good for thickening up sauces, for, make sure the pasta product don't stick together. We have xanthan gum. In the last 10 years, a lot of chefs have brought into the culinary scene this product. Xanthan is nothing that it really is almost like a jellyfying agent. It's like a gelatin that is a plant-based, and it's very good in this case for create the elasticity that you're seeking in pasta, which is the replacement for the gluten. And some guar gum. Guar gum is it's almost like a stronger bond collagen, almost like a gelatin, but a lot stronger than xanthan, and is perfect for creating for having all the ingredients coming together. And we need a lot of fat. More fat than normal pasta, so to develop that kind of flavor that we're missing from the gluten, we're gonna use extra egg yolk in this recipe. You've seen that for the previous recipe, I've taught you how to do fresh pasta, I've used only 4 eggs. In this case, there is a lot more. There is twice as much yolk than there is actual eggs. So here's what we're gonna do. Same thing, same process. We're gonna throw everything in a food processor, all right? First of all, we throw in cornstarch. This is just like regular cornstarch. Some people do ask me, where do I find this particular ingredient? Well, till 10 years ago, you would have to run around the world to find them and go end up in some really hipster, healthy store like, this health and wellness store. They have all these different ingredients. But the reality is, today, you can find these in common grocery store, Whole Foods, Safeway. There is like a lot of places now that carry things like quinoa and xanthan gum. This is nothing chemist. This is all natural stuff. This is not like some added whimsical ingredient that it's a product of some sorcery. No, this is just plant-based stuff that will make your gluten-free pasta taste almost as good as the real deal, all right? So now we're gonna add some quinoa flour. Quinoa flour, you find quinoa all over my restaurants. It's a delicious grain, very small. You normally bloom that in water, but if you ground that, it makes an excellent flour for frying food and for coating. Then we have potato starch. Potato starch, easy, doesn't need introduction. It's very dusty. Then we have xanthan gum. Now, xanthan gum, as much as guar gum, they react with fat and water. So if you think about it, xanthan gum is used in professional chef kitchen to emulsify and blend together oil and water. Oil and water doesn't go together, but thanks to xanthan gum and a little bit of heat, they're gonna make love to each other like they were meant to be together in the first place. So here's what we're gonna do now. We have that. Then we're gonna add a little bit of coarse salt. Then I have whole eggs and egg yolk. I'm adding these at the same time, and I have like a tablespoon of water inside here. All right? I'm gonna go that way, do this. And now, it's really a matter of letting it go. As much as the pasta that we did prior, the same principles apply. We gotta keep adding moisture until this is formed. This is meant to be very dry right now. See this? It's very dry. Because if I add too much liquid, while to making regular pasta, the one that we did in the past few episodes, measurement is not a very needed requirement. In this case, you have to be very precise with how much you put in. That's why the recipe is very precise. The only variable, it's water. Here I'm adding some water using the dish from the eggs. I'm gonna need a little bit more. And the secret here is to keep adding water until the dough is formed. You do want to add the water very slowly because you can't go back. You can add a little bit more flour. There's no flour in here. And also these require a lot more working than the other pasta require. Remember, there is no gluten. And gluten and regular flour, it's what keeps the show together in pasta making. All right. See, the consistency here is very different. And this dough will need to be worked a little bit. In this case, kneading the pasta is going to develop the texture that you're seeking for. This pasta, naturally, it's very dry. So what I suggest you is not to stretch it like you would for fettuccine or lasagna. The only real solution to have a decent pasta with this is to create orecchiette. Shape them round like this. And with the palm of your hand, again, this is one of the few things that you can do with this pasta that remember you eating regular pasta. Remember, you're giving up gluten. And I want to show you something that actually tastes really good, but is also a little bit different from the one you had so far, all right? When you do orecchiette-like shape, it's not going to be a perfect round. Because again, like I said, this pasta will tend to crumble, but the shape will catch the sauce, and it's going to be really nice. If you see that the pasta is a bit too dry, you can also try to add an egg yolk to it. This is like you're drowning in the middle of the ocean of pasta and somebody throw you a life-saving device like a scuba diving mask, oxygen tank, a rubber duck, a gigantic rubber duck. Anything that will not make you drown. Now, this is a slower process. You're not working with gluten. So if you feel that this is a little slow and a little clumsy, it is. Because we came up with a recipe that doesn't feature gluten, all right? So this is exactly what it is. What you can do also, you can cut this, see? And you gotta try to let it rest and make sure that there is not too much air gap in it. If you let it rest for a few hours wrapped in, if you let this rest in plastic wrap, your whole process will be much easier. And again, if you think that it's too dry or it crumbles too much, let it rest, and as you mix, you can fix the amount of egg yolk. It will take probably couple of try to make this work for you, but if you're gluten intolerant, this is the closest things that you can possibly find to regular pasta. Guys, honestly, I looked at this in 50,000 different ways. 50,000, I'm not kidding you. And this combination of plant-based starches and mix is the only things that will get you a tad closer to your beloved pasta that you can no longer eat. Fabio Viviani, you're watching Fabio's Kitchen.